So this is going to be a different video to what I usually post on my channel. This is just going to be covering all the keybinds and the search crafting languages that I use, just so that it makes it less confusing and hopefully it makes sense and shows why I actually picked these keybinds. Let's get into the video. So these are the keybinds that I use for MCSR, but also Minecraft as a whole. They're categorized into three different categories that I'll get into later on. There's also like a huge story behind each of them, so let me just explain all of them one by one. Toggling's perspective is set to V because F5 is out of reach when I'm playing Minecraft. So I set it to V because toggling is so useful whether you're doing PvP or you're playing MCSR. It's very useful. So yeah, it's set to V. List players is set to Y only because the other keys are rebinded. So like tab or like the grave key is set to something else. Open inventory set to R because on my old laptop, the letter E just stopped registering. So I just set that to R. So these two are the next big changes that I had. When I got my first, like this MacBook that I'm using right now, when you press Control and then left click, it becomes a right click. I don't know if anyone else has that issue or that's like a built-in thing. So yeah, and I was like a new kid to Mac at the time, so I didn't really understand how macOS worked, so I just changed the Minecraft keybinds for that. So I changed sprint to shift because that's just right above control, and sneak to tab because shift is being used up. So now we are going to get into the hotbar, and let me just remind you that hotbar is like probably your best friend when you're doing PvP or MCSR. It's so useful, so it's important to have the right hotkeys for these. So yeah, slot 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all normal hotkeys because I'll just go through one by one. So slot 1 is your act slot. You probably have to attack things really fast in MCSR. Slot 2 is the mouse button 4, so that's like the bottom mouse button on the side. That's because I feel like that's not as much useful, even though they can be used to like the last slots. Slot 3, 4, 5, and 6 are just your regular, like I probably have blocks and stuff like that. I'll get into hotbar later on, but these are just normal hotkeys. Slot 7 is set to E because when I got into MCSR for the first time, they were just slot 7 and 8 were just 7 and 8. So when I changed this to E and 2 because they're so useful and there's actually like a use. Like your hotbar is, let me just remind you again, hotbar is just a very useful like tool in MCSR and also PvP. So yeah, I just changed these two. Slot 9 is mouse button 5 because this is usually my clutch spot. So I'll get into hotbar later on, but yeah, these are my hotkeys. For macro keybinds, if you play MCSR, you know we have macros. There's thin mode, so that's the grave key, which is above the tab key. Tall mode is comma, so that's like the screen that you use to measure your eyes. And wide mode is left all because that's also close to WSD when I'm playing. So yeah, these are my hotkeys. Now that we covered the hotkeys, let's look at the hotbar. This is my hotbar. It's also, I'm going to put this in the description as well because it also has the other top runners hotbars as well. Like Hags, Mungi, Ral, Silver, and Fume. And yeah, also mine's also going to be there. So if you look at here, both of them are pretty normal. Ocean and land are pretty much the same thing. I usually have the bucket as the last slot. Both always in this slot apart from going for 0 cycle. Blocks is usually next to 4 or 5 because that's right next to WSD. I said in the hotkeys part that slot 6 is like a dead spot, which means that I rarely use them in MCSR. So like it's usually set to flint and steel that you do once in like 2 times the entire run, and like also fire res and also blaze rods. I usually keep these 2 slots free for entering the bastion because this is where I fast loot stuff. So like this part of the hotbar is fine, and the last slot's usually a gold ingot. So yeah, that's good. Into 4, like once again I said number 6 is the dead spot that I usually have fire res. I pop like twice in the entire run. Yeah. So and doing blaze TNT or blaze bed is always slot number 8. I usually switch on gravel for nether bricks when I'm setting up for a blaze bed or blaze TNT. So that's what I use there. When I'm going to chords, however, like I usually craft the eyes and keep it here. because then I just have a track. Like I usually would I usually blind earlier, so I would blind like 4 rods, which means 8 eyes. So I need to get 2 more, and I'd keep count of that as well. So I keep it there. I keep it also going to the stronghold when I'm filling the port and portal eyes in. It's also there as well. When I enter the 0, however, you notice that the soul sand and pearl slot have swapped. This is because I feel like it's easier to swap to pearl on number 4 when I'm doing 0 cycle. So like before entering the stronghold, like through the portal animation, I swap out Sultan and Pearl as like throw offhand. You also notice here that Obsidian like basically stays the same the entire time. This is because when I'm going to courts, I don't like keeping the fire charts in the hotbar. I'd rather do the like putting in top left so that I can quickly toggle through the inventory. And yeah, I just pick block the obby afterwards during the portal animation as well. So yeah, this is my hotbar. Once again, this is also be linked in the description so that you guys can view. Yeah, let's get into the language part now. If you've been watching my Minecraft speedrunning videos for a while, you've probably seen that I play in Danish. This is because for me it is a very easy language to use for 2 reasons. One, it uses English letters and so it makes it understandable. And 2, mainly its inputs are only like 2, sometimes even 1, but also rarely more than 3 or more. So it's really good. This doc will also be linked in the description, by the way, so please go check that out. I'll show my layout up on screen right now. I will not delve into it much because you can also make your own layout like this. As you can see here, this is using tool screen. I use a Mac, so I can't really do split, whatever it's called on tool screen. So like split keybinds. So like you can see here, someone uses F and someone uses G. Has other letters. Usually you'd use F3 plus F to increase render distance, F3G for chunk borders. I can't do the split controls on my MacBook. Yeah, hopefully that changes soon or something. I don't know, but yeah, this is my layout up on screen right now. So yeah, you don't have to entirely copy it, but it's really easy for me if I do it like this. Also, you can see here some people put 2 letters. Also, it's also easier that way for some people, so that's good. The important search graphs are like these 3, because you can do like continued search graph, like overlapping. Like if you type R for ingot, you can just type backspace and then type O, like NO for like iron axe, like this. You can see overlaps here. Stone axe, stone shovel, stuff like that. So it's easy to search graph here for that, but mainly it's very easy for like late game when you're crafting like explosives, like I just showed you in the intro. Yeah, in my opinion, Danish is like one of the most popular search crafting languages to use, and it's very easy to do so. So like if you're doing it for the first time, you'll get used to it pretty quick. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys like the video and subscribe. Yay.